You know, when we first picked this car up, I was a little disappointed, but I like it now. I like this car. You know, we didn't film anything on picking this car up or the red one you're about to see. Reason was when we picked this car up, it wasn't a real fun situation. The car was a lot worse than the seller had told me, and then the car was a lot worse than the seller had even known about. So I can't put the blame on the seller. He was a nice guy, and he reached out to me, you know, about this car, knowing I like F6 green. So, you know, I can't put any blame on him. He's an older guy, and he probably didn't look underneath it, but the car is pretty rough. It needs a lot of work. The reason I got this car is I wanted a daily driver so I could park Smurf, because Smurf needs a bunch of work. It needs to be painted. It needs a new windshield put in it. It needs new windshield seal. I want to put the radio in it. I want to change the interior back to blue. And I want to put a tunnel ram on it. Boom. Plus trick flow heads. So anyway, that car needed a bunch of work. I locked myself in. I guess that's another thing to do. What is going on here? Oh, I guess I'm stuck in it. Well, hang on one second. All right, we're out now. It's probably just the rods need to be adjusted or lubricated or something, but door works. Yeah, the car's rough. It needs a lot more rust repair than, because when I got the car, he told me it was rust free. Well, it's not. The whole cross rail behind the rear valence, like the rear valence looks good on this, right? It's not. There's nothing behind here. There's supposed to be a rear cross rail. On both sides, there's nothing behind it. So, long story short, right front frame rail's rotted out. Torsion support's junk. Front floors are junk. Trunk pan's junk. They had put a new trunk pan in it, but it just, I wanted to do a nice trunk pan. They had put quarter panels on it, or quarter skins, but a crappy job. I mean, the quarter panels aren't even attached to the freaking wheelhouse. See how that's able to move? It's not supposed to do that. So yeah, floor pans, needs outer wheelhouses, both sides, trunk pan, trunk extensions, rear cross rail, rear valence, valence corners. Even though it has all this stuff on it and it doesn't look too bad, it's all got to get cut off and redone. But it does run good. It's a good running driving car. So, and I like the color. The paint job is absolutely terrible anyway. So before they even turned the lights on in the garage, I could see the paint was bad. Like you probably can't see it in the film, but it looks like there's a whole bunch of shadowing, but it's not. That's just the blotchiness in the paint. I mean, I don't want to bash anyone, but I mean, the car looks like it was sprayed with one of those garden sprayers. And plus it's got some, it's just no bueno. No, it's all over. So, but I really thank Gary for letting me get this car, and you know, we agreed on a price, or he told me how much he wanted for it before we even showed up. And then when I got there and told him, okay, the car's way worse than what you had told me, and we drove a long way to get this thing. I flew from Vegas to North Dakota, and then from North Dakota we drove to Pennsylvania to go get this thing and the red car. Anyway, I'm glad I got the car. I love the car. It just needs a lot more work than what I had really hoped on doing. So it's not a daily driver right now, unless maybe I can just patch it up and use it as a driver so I can fix Smurf. I don't know. I haven't really put too much thought to it. And it used to have a scoop on it. Well, the scoop blew off on the highway when we were trailering it, because this is just one of those cheapo Chinese freaking plastic scoops. But it looked really good with the scoop on it, so I'm gonna put the scoop back on it. And then the red car. Okay, we spent 2 hours dealing with Gary to get to make the purchase on his car. You know, he didn't realize the car was that bad, and then, you know, and he had had this car for a long time, so it was hard for him to drop the price, to let it go. But I just wasn't for the car, even though it doesn't look that bad. You know, when you see it underneath all that, it's pretty bad. And then, so we spent way too much time with Gary, and then we had to drive all the way across Pennsylvania, which is a pretty big state, to go get the red car that day. And By the time we got there, it was already dark. It was 9:30, and there was such a narrow alley, or it was out in the country, and it was such a narrow little dirt road to get to the guy's place. Mike couldn't make one of the corners with his 40-foot gooseneck trailer. Actually, yeah, the one right there. So he had to back into it, and we had to back down a half-mile stretch of little narrow dirt road, which only had like maybe 6 inches to a foot on each side of the trailer the whole way down. I mean, he did that like a boss. I mean, I felt like a caboose driver with a flashlight sitting on the back of the trailer, you know, guiding him. But we got there, the guy had already pulled the car out from where it was sitting, so it wasn't like, oh, cool, we stumbled across this car type thing. No, it was already pulled out front, ready for us to load it up. We had to do a couple things to get it to roll, had to torch the drum off, and basically just change wheels and tires, and then we drug it down the hill and then loaded it up on the trailer using another truck. So it wasn't like super exciting, and it was late. By the time we were done, it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and everybody just wanted to go home and go to bed. And we still had to drive back to North Dakota that night. So it would have taken way too long to try and film stuff. So me and Mike just hustled and just tried to get the thing done and get it loaded and get out of there. So we didn't film loading this car or the red car. All right, just about ready to load up the new F6 Green 69 RT Charger. Real F6 Green car. We bought a couple extra wheels and tires, so we got those thrown in the trunk right now. Just get on the trailer and we'll strap it down afterward. But sounds healthy, looks good. Needs a little more work than we anticipated. Seller didn't know it needed the work either, but still work out a deal. Car looks bitchin'. I'm gonna leave the scoop on it too. Just do the bodywork and paint on the hood, so that way it all looks good. Let me get a picture of this side. Oh yeah. And look. It's got an 8-track radio. It's got KISS in it. Got more 8-tracks. We got even more 8-track in the trunk. Oh, this car is cool. The only thing I would change on it is 4-speed, of course. You gotta have 4-speed. And then I do wish it was white interior, white top, white stripe. That would be even cooler. But can't complain too much. Still a bitchin' car. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing loaded up because we got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of miles to go. So I'll let you guys later. Got them loaded up. The old orange car here was a little bit more of a pain in the ass to get this sucker loaded up. I had to torch off one of the drums, which luckily the guy we got the car from had a torch. Change the wheels, put these fugly wheels on it just so it get it up on the trailer. But it is a real 69 RT, originally red, black stripe, black top. This car was parked looking beautiful. This is a great looking car when it was parked. Pennsylvania winters killed this car in the 33 years that it sat. Sucks. This is my first time seeing this red RT in the daylight. It ain't pretty. This thing is foobarred. Ugh. We'll go ahead and take a gander, will we? Let's see. Torsion support, floors, rockers, rear frame rails, front frame rails, quarters, doors, front frame rails. You know, the list might be shorter if I find something good. Let me try and find something good. Give me a minute here. Hold on, I'm still looking. Still looking. Ah! The grill looks good. Let's take a gander underneath it. The grill, the K-frame looks okay. Control arms look okay. I don't even know about the hood. The hood might be okay. Let's see. No, that's all junk. You know what? Maybe that's just all factory lightweight speed holes. It allows the air drag to come out through the taillights, through the vacuum vortex of the trunk. Maybe? I don't know. You know what? Maybe let's get up on the trailer here without falling or getting a tetanus shot. Nope. Nope. I'm going to find something else that's, oh, the glass. The glass is good. Okay. There we go. The trim's good. Cowl's junk. Fenders are junk. Well, nope, never mind. Hood's junk too. It's pretty bad. It's pretty foobarred. Let's take a look under the hood. Well, the engine might be good. So, the guy we got the car from, he said he had built the motor up, got 915 heads on it, intake, choppy cam. It's obviously got headers, carburetor. So, the engine might be pretty peppy. Maybe it's got ported 915 heads, I don't know. But the old RT is hasn't fared well in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Poor old girl. Well, he had a stall converter in it too. He got this massive tranny cooler on it. It's pretty rough. But we got an Eldebrock CH, or what is that? Yeah, CH4B, I was correct. So CH4B, cam, headers, it's got the deep sump oil pan, aftermarket oil pump. This is all stuff I've been told from him. Yeah. Rough life for sure. Well, and so the green 69 RT used to have a hood scoop on it. It's missing now. It's had blowed off. Yeah, you too. All right, well, get back to driving. So, got the red 69 RT Charger unloaded, and it is going to be sitting in here for quite some time. So this is going to be its hiding spot for a while. Bam! This car is really bad. Like really bad, like bad, but like then there's like really bad, then there's like one notch above that. There's really no metal to actually start with on. Actually, you know what? I lied. There might be some roof structure in here that you could start with. So you'll have the inner roof structure, but I know that's gonna have to be repaired. There's nothing on this car that you could really actually call good and start from. But even the firewall I don't think is really perfect. Even the front door sills are junk. That actually holds the door on. So everything, well, it's pretty dark in here, but yeah. Oof. It's just pretty bad. Pretty bad. This would be technically one of those cars that is unrestorable, because by the time you strip it down and have good metal to start with, what are you going to have? You're going to have sections of an inner roof structure, maybe a firewall. The cowl on this thing is not that great. I mean, the cowl might be usable. So you'll have a cowl. You might have A-pillars, so cowl, A-pillars. See how there's some holes in the inner roof, or on the roof skin here? Well, I know water had got in there because it rains a lot in Pennsylvania. So all this inner roof structure here is probably going to be junk. Same thing with all these holes here. All this water had now got down into inner roof structure area that water is not intended to get to. And none of that metal is actually protected with paint or any kind of rust preventative. So when water gets to that, it just eats it. It's like a buffet. So, yeah. Question is still up in the air. What do we do with this car? I mean, it is numbers matching. 69 RT, R6 red with a black stripe, black top, and black interior. So it is a cool car. You know, it's not like a super cool RT car, like rare options or stuff like that, but it's unique enough that my dumb ass will try and save this thing. Not right away, though. This will be a later project, because you guys may not believe this, but this 68 Charger right here is a much better car. This car here, oh, I accidentally hit a button and stopped recording. But yes, this car here is a damn good car, actually. It's just beat to shit on every single corner. But this is a real orange 68, well, I was about to say RT, but it's not. It is an orange 383 4-speed white interior Charger. So that's pretty cool. Orange, white interior, and 4-speed, and big block. Oh, it's cold in here. But it is riddled with bullet holes. Somebody rammed the side of it. Actually, there's an episode where I pulled this car out of the ravine. So there is another YouTube episode where this car got pulled out of it, like a wash, creek, or ravine, whatever it was in. But the metal on this car is amazingly good. Like, you could almost call this car rust-free. Actually, it probably is. I mean, the rear valence is beautiful on this car. Look at that. There's no rust in this car. It's just beat to shit. But really, all I got to do is quarter panels, roof skin, fix the bullet holes, pull the inner regulator panel back out, cut the door jamb off, put a new door jamb on it. The doors unbolt. So unbolt the doors. The fenders, those things unbolt. So just unbolt the fenders. Probably replace the cowl on it because it's got some damage here. So probably have to just go and replace that. straighten all this out. Probably put a new core support in it because somebody had done some welding to this thing before and it's all boogered and ugly and junk. So probably just replace the core support. But yeah, no, this car is actually good. So I will build this car before we build that car. Solid car, rusty car. Easy to fix, nothing to start with. It's amazing how that looks, right? Because this thing looks like total loss. Oh, that thing still looks like a buildable car. All right, well, this old girl's gonna sit in here for a while. And at least it'll be kind of out of the elements. It'll still be in the cold, but at least it'll be out of the elements and we don't really have to worry about it rusting anymore because it's gonna hurt it. Yeah. All right, girl, you sleep tight. I'll get to you eventually. Hopefully I still got a couple years left in me before I can, before I croak off, so. Alrighty, well, I guess that's the end of that car. You can't see it, but the green 69RT is still on the trailer way out there. I don't know if I'm gonna take that with me back to Vegas right now or just leave it here because I gotta get the 70 burnt orange car back to Vegas so I can sales it. All right, oh, it's cold. At least it's warmer back in the Bobcat.